this something that when there was the British Empire and stuff, was this exported, or was it curtailed in some respect if we did take it abroad?
Well, this is you always bring up important things I'd forget to talk about. Yes, that's the other reason why it's so important. If it had remained the peculiar practices of a small island of a few million people, then we wouldn't be talking about it now. What happened was that by chance it was taken to America. The Americans have our Anglo-Saxon legal system, modified, but it's basically there. But before America's huge influence on the world, the British Empire took it above all to India. Sir Henry Maine from Trinity College, Cambridge, was the legal advisor to the Council of India. And so the Indian legal system is, to a large extent, founded on British principles. And it was taken to Africa and everywhere. Now, when it was taken there, it was a considerable shock, because it was based on something which we didn't really realize. It was based on the idea that individuals have legal rights. When we talk about the rights of human beings, and the American Declaration of Independence and Constitution says, we hold these rights to be sovereign and a man is born free. That's all rubbish, as Ernest Gellner once pointed out. I remember he said, what an extraordinary notion, anthropologically, to think that human beings have rights. They don't. They have responsibilities, duties, all sorts of things. They don't have internal, inalienable rights. That's he thought, an invention of the American Revolution and so on, but it isn't. It is innate in Anglo-Saxon law that any individual, as soon as they're born, man, woman, child, has certain innate rights which cannot be taken away from them unless they do something criminal and it's proven. So this idea was taken from here to a place like India, and a well-known legal anthropologist, Barney Cohn, studied this in an Indian court system and said, the villagers came to the British courts and they said, what's this nonsense you're telling us? You're telling us that people are equal, that they have rights. Of course they don't. In Hindu society, men are not equal to women. Fathers are not equal to sons. An upper caste is not equal to lower caste. This completely subverts and overthrows the whole of our social system, because it's based on the premise of inequality, not the premise of equality before the law and so on. And the same would have been true in China with Confucianism, where you have the premise of inequality before the law. So when this system was taken across India, it was alien, it caused all sorts of ructions. It has been, as anyone who looks at the current legal system in India can see, that it's pretty distorted. And I've been watching a number of Indian films recently, and if you look at the behavior of the police in those films and the legal system, it's pretty shady, a lot of it. But anyway, and without, I don't want to sound arrogant, because our own system has its own flaws as well, as we know. But basically, it was spread. So if you had to say, well, what did Britain contribute to the world? Well, its language, its literature, and its law is a pretty good start, as well as its industrialism and capitalism. And so